1, 2, 3, 4.
Filled with awe and fright, see Jurassic Right, bathed in amber light. See Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Park.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm so surprised. I'm on a podcast right now doing it. I'm just very excited to chat with my guests again because they came in like a bullet into my feed in 2025. And I'm so thankful that I found them because I feel like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I saw a meme this morning where it was like, politics is coming for you, babe. Like whether or not you care about being involved in politics. And it was just that like, that really, I think, you know, this podcast, you're listening to See Jurassic Right. This is Stephen Ray Morris. I care about science in this country. I care about climate change. I care about saving the animals, saving the people, vaccines work, all that good stuff. So like, I don't know. It's one of those, again, politics is coming for us, babe, is maybe the mission statement this year. But I'm very excited to have my guest. I'm very excited to have my guest back again, Colette Delawalla from Stand Up for Science.
Thank you so much for having me. I know there feels like there needs to be crowd noise there. Stephen, thank you so much for having me back. It is just a joy to know you. And I'm really glad that there are people like you who are out here railing about, you know, the science issue and understand that like science is coming for you, bitch. That works too.
Yeah, that's on a t-shirt.
That's on a t-shirt. Actually, maybe I should put that in the merch shop.
I'm not wearing my Stand Up for Science tank top, by the way. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's winter. You're allowed to wear a long sleeve shirt for winter. No, I so appreciate your enthusiasm. Your just consistent support. It means the world to us. And like, it really does matter. Every pair of eyes that we can get on this counts right now. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, and it's funny that you brought that up because I feel like, I mean, I want to get, you know, for anyone you were on the back to school series, you kicked that off last year. But the thing I thought was really interesting, just catching up with Science Fight Club and just some of the stuff, because it's only 8 days into this year and there's a lot going on.
8 years into this year.
Yeah. And I thought that was what was interesting because coming from like my perspective of somebody who's like, ooh, I like dinosaurs or I care about climate change or anything like that. I feel like there's been some messaging, and I wanted to get your perspective on this because you've written about it, how like obviously spreading the word is a big part about it, getting eyes. But I think for anybody who, if somebody's listening on the fence now, like what is the kind of thing that they should, what's going to spur them into action, I guess, is my question.
Oh, God, I wish I had the answer to that. Well, I don't have the exact answer to that. I have a broad answer to that. I think that number one, meeting people where they are is the first step. I think number two is connecting with people on messages that they care about and that is going to impact them. And the thing that's so interesting, we're running this campaign to see RFK Jr. removed. And there are two ways that a cabinet member can be removed. Either the president fires them or they get impeached and removed through Congress. So those are the only two ways. We're not working with the president right now. So we have been working on an impeachment campaign. We worked with Representative Haley Stevens out of Michigan to draft articles of impeachment against RFK Jr. Those were filed in the House of Representatives on December 10th. And now we're working to get co-sponsors on those articles to just sort of move them forward to get them taken seriously. So we have one co-sponsor, and that is Representative Eric Swalwell. That's it. So all of these Dems that have been talking about like how RFK Jr. is so bad, they haven't co-sponsored the articles of impeachment yet. And the only way that we can get him removed is first for them to co-sponsor. So like, that's what we're working on. But yeah. I say that to make the point that this like Maha RFK thing, it's so interesting because obviously there's so much shit happening right now. Like Trump is taking this flood the zone thing to the nth degree. And you can look at the cabinet and be like, oh, Pete Hegseth or Kristi Noem are going to cause the most damage. They're going to cause the most death. But actually, the sort of sleeper agent in all of this is RFK Jr. Like these vaccine pushes, things like stopping the sudden infant death prevention program, shutting down the Office of Family Violence Prevention. Like these types of things are going to add up in a body count so fast.
Yeah.
And so I think that people need to understand that, like, I have been surprised as a scientist and as a person like leading the science activism movement at the sheer number of like disease related or like health related offices or like lines of research that have been closed down or just like fully shuttered. So if I'm surprised about it, I'm sure other people would be too, to know like, hey, did you know that they shut down the arm of lupus research at the CDC? Why would you do that? Like, why would you shut down sudden infant death prevention programs that have a 30-year track record of reducing SIDS by 50%? Like, that is nonsensical. If we're going to have tax dollars being spent on something, like, that's a great thing to spend it on. That's not political. Yeah. And so I think that there are like issues that will match with people that will ring like particularly close to home.
And is that just part of like the flood the zone kind of thing, really? Just by...
Totally.
And what it was recently, there was the vaccine schedule, like went down from like 17 to 11 mandatory. Like,
it's not even mandatory. It's just a recommendation, but it's the recommendation that like it matters that at a federal level, we're saying, hey, we have contacted the experts, we've done the research, and we can say that this is the most robust, supported recommendation that we can bring forward. And so to change that, it adds confusion. It doesn't actually change like what's like any mandates. It doesn't change requirements. It just adds confusion, which is a part of the like slow chipping away of the like science has this sort of, level of, all right, we can trust this.
Yeah.
Like, and it is a chip away at the trust. The other thing too, that I do not understand, genuinely do not understand as a mom with a toddler who survived the new year with norovirus this year. Okay. Norovirus is the devil. There's something called rotavirus. Rotavirus is even worse because norovirus lasts a day. Rotavirus lasts a week.
Yeah, it's wow.
And they unrecommended the rotavirus vaccine for kids. It's not even a shot. It's a sugar drop. It's a sugar drop that you give babies. Like, so I guess it's like, okay, well, we want to reduce the number of jabs. Well, you've reduced something that's not a shot, that is horrible on like as a mom, like I don't want to ever deal with norovirus for a week. So why wouldn't I protect myself from that and my family? I don't know. It's like nonsensical to me. And it doesn't add up in terms of like, number one, the evidence isn't there. Nothing changed about the evidence.
Yeah.
There weren't new studies that came out. There wasn't new guidance. And he didn't even, he handpicked the ACIP, the like panel that recommends vaccines. They didn't make this decision. Mm-hmm. So anyway, all of that to say, it's present to chip away at just like this trust and to cause confusion.
How did he even get elected in the first place?
Oh, God. Well, we can trace this back to Olivia Nuzzi and her poetry. I think that MAGA deeply understood that RFK Jr., as a lifelong Democrat who was willing to partner with Trump on these really niche issues that a segment of the population like agrees with, who, they don't like Trump, but they agree with these issues. He knew, MAGA understood and Trump understood that if they brought in RFK, they would get this critical segment of like, sort of floppy voters who were willing to vote for Trump to see these policies come through or to like have a promise of these policies and to feel like they were represented in, high up places. And at the end of the day, right, like we all just want to feel like we're represented in government. And so I think that they used frankly, people's like fears and often legitimate concerns to win over votes and sort of traded off this like, okay, we know that we can get these votes if we bring him into the cabinet. So in my view, I think it was a trade.
Well, and that's something that I feel like Stand Up for Science, you guys have been talking about is, you know, in this Science Fight Club of like that the conservative side have such a messaging that maybe we don't have, and how like you guys want to like, hey, like, you know, we cured all these diseases and things in the 20th century, and now like people are getting measles again. And like, what is Stand Up for Science goal in terms of like getting that messaging out and getting everyone to be a little more unified?
Yeah, I think that first of all, oh gosh, that's a big question, Stephen. Sorry. I'm thinking about where to start on this.
I know.
Okay, first of all, it's a big one. How do you fix the messaging issue on the left? Okay, so first of all, I think it is to get people to understand that, yes, RFK Jr., just as an example, is not qualified for the position that he is in. However, that doesn't make him stupid. And actually, he's a very effective communicator, even if he is like horrible to listen to in an interview. Yeah. Like even if it's hard to listen to him, he's a very good communicator in the communication and media environment of 2025 and 2026, which is super short form, super punchy clips, no nuance. Like that is what works. And scientists and, you know, those in medicine and just like generally speaking, the left sucks at this. And so you've got this group of people, you know, the right, who deeply understand that if they invest time and money into these really short, really punchy, no nuance, sounds quick and easy, like what sounds like, oh, well, we'll just fix chronic disease by taking out red food dye, like duh, you know, and it sounds easy and it sounds legitimate. And the other thing that they do that the left just sucks at is they repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. There is no group better than MAGA and MAGA and Maha and the right at just like hammering home. Scientists especially, but generally any expert on the left, they are like, well, I'm an expert. I said it once. I don't need to say it again. And that is 100% completely the wrong approach. Yeah. It's like a structural change that has to happen with how we communicate, what we communicate, and how often we communicate.
Yeah. I just realized his voice is like the anti-ASMR. Like it hurts, you know, just like nails on a chalkboard.
It is a medical problem. His voice is like that because he has a disease. And by the way, they pulled down and decreased the funding for the group of people and like the like entity within HHS and NIH that deals with like nose, throat, and ears, nose, throat, and like research.
He wants everyone to sound like him.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's one of those things like, oh, what was that politician who like did the and like he lost an election because he just did a weird sound, and then RFK is out there like throwing dead bears around and people are like totally not. It's just it's just such a different ballgame now where there's just, I mean, every day we're just seeing things that like would have seemed unacceptable even 5 years ago.
The Overton window has shifted, right? Like, I mean, even the fact that I think about like JD Vance and the couch fucking thing, and like that would have been in like 2008. Oh, the people think you fuck couches. Sorry, buddy, your political career is over. Now we're like, is JD Vance the next president? What? Eyeliner? Barack Hussein Obama got his ass roasted for a tan suit, and JD Vance is out here wearing eyeliner like credibly. And this is, I mean, I can't, it's too much. But yeah, that is to say though, that like how much the media environment and the Overton window and just like what is socially acceptable for a politician and like how a politician is now allowed to behave, how different it is and how dramatically and quickly that has changed.
And yeah, for Stand Up for Science this year, you have the Science Fight Club. There's a couple other things in the pipeline. What are the big goals for this year? This is going to come out probably in a week because I feel like we just gotta like every day feels like time sensitive, just things are changing left and right. Yeah. So yeah, what are the big plans?
Okay, big plans. Number one, we want to flip Congress. Yes. So we really believe that so I should back up a minute. In 2025, we thought, okay, maybe we can just like appeal to people's reasoning here about science that like this has never been a partisan issue. So why is it a partisan issue now? We tried that out. We have a whole government relations team on the Hill. They're based in DC. Like as we speak right this very minute, they are in member meetings with members of the House. And so we tried this. Like we tried to have Republicans get on board with us. And like they will give an inch and take a mile elsewhere. So they'll say like, sure, I'll back epilepsy funding. And then they'll kick 20 million people off their health insurance. Surely some of those people had epilepsy, right? So like you give an inch, take a mile, or they give an inch, take a mile. And I say that to make the point that it helped us realize in trying to do that the only way we're going to be able to like take back our science and have, control over this thing that really should be a public good and shouldn't just exist to like enrich billionaires. Yeah. The way we're going to do that is to flip Congress. And so that's where a huge amount of our efforts are going into. So we'll be after primaries, we'll be endorsing candidates, getting involved in elections, that sort of thing. And that is on our like elections side. On our sort of nonprofit side, we are vying to see change at HHS. We want to get RFK Jr. out of there. And that is something that we're committed to. It's not just a like news cycle that we wanted to be involved in. Like we helped draft the articles of impeachment. Yeah. Like we contacted and got input from leaders in the field, like the top leading experts in the field, to make sure that the information we included was as accurate as possible. Like up until the day that we had them filed in the House, we were like, are these numbers right? And so all that to say, a lot of care and consideration has gone into this campaign. And then I think there's this other piece that's a little bit more nebulous about like reestablishing the social contract between science and the public. Like, I think about NASA and the space age and how like excited just America and how American landing on the moon was, right? That like everybody was like, it doesn't matter who you voted for. Yeah. We did it first, bitch. Like that's like the American approach. Like we should be like that about, curing cancer.
Yeah.
Like we should be like that about solving for Alzheimer's and, treating various diseases and going further in space and fixing climate change. Like we can be like that in other areas. And at the same time, like we do getting to that point requires us to address the fact that like there is a rupture in this agreement between science and the public. And like we should take responsibility and we should work to fix that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, what really stuck with me the first time we talked last year about how, and it's something that I didn't know, even as an enthusiast, that when these grants are given to scientists, they have to they have a thing where you were telling me like they have to prove why this would be good for humanity. So it's so like this narrative of oh, well, I don't want to go to space because that's taking away from something here. And it's like, no, from my understanding, it was just like anytime somebody gets a grant, it's like, here's the benefits to humanity. Like that's how it works.
It is if we're going to give you XYZ dollars in taxpayers' dollars, like these are taxes from, citizens of the US, you have to explain to us like how this is going to circle back and benefit a constituency. And it may be in 50 years, like it may be that, okay, we see this problem coming down the line and it hasn't become a problem yet, but like for our children, it's important for us to study this thing. It could also be that like, hey, it's important for us to understand the world around us so that we can address climate change better. Or, I mean, my favorite example is GLP-1s and this, do you know the story of GLP-1s?
No.
Oh, this is wild.
Okay.
So there's this one random guy, just a scientist, who decided to start studying venoms of reptiles and bugs. That was like his whole thing. And so he started studying all of these venoms, and the Gila monster was one of many that he was studying. And there was an endocrinologist at the VA, so Veteran Affairs Hospital. He was a researcher and he was actually just a researcher at the VA who was looking for ways to improve outcomes for veterans with diabetes. And so he was looking for like molecules and proteins that were able to help deal with people's insulin levels. And he looked to the animal literature because he was like, well, there are animals who are able to like deal with insulin in a way that humans aren't, and found this guy's work on Gila monsters and turned it into Ozempic. I mean, like,
Whoa.
That's the very short version.
Sure. Yeah.
But like this guy, 50 years ago was studying bumblebee venom, and that doesn't seem like something that would eventually impact humans. But now you have all of these GLP-1s that are, for better or for worse, they are improving health outcomes. Like they do help people.
Yeah.
So, it's just such a testament to the discovery pipeline of like, who's allowed to be a scientist, who's studying what. And then this whole pipeline that like, oh, wow, we found this thing that now can benefit and does benefit people.
Yeah. No, I learned recently that like horseshoe crab blood is used to test like if vaccines are effective or if there's something wrong with them. And you're just like, never would have you just thought that those weird little creepy like alien Roombas crawling around that those would help, like that using their blood helped with the COVID vaccines. Like that is something that, again, I think maybe if we're, reaching out to like even the most non-science enthusiastic people, it's like it can come from anywhere.
It can. And one of the things that makes the American scientific ecosystem so unique is that we allow and fund research that doesn't have these like super overt like ways of impacting people. Like sometimes the benefit to humanity is simply it's important for us to learn more about the world around us, and bringing forth that knowledge, it results in a lot of cross-pollination. And the cross-pollination is one of the things that makes our scientific like enterprise ecosystem unique compared to other places in the world. The government doesn't, or hasn't until now, dictated what scientists are allowed to study. And so it's this it's the coolest form, in my opinion, of freedom of speech and like freedom of the inquiry, because we can ask these questions that may seem like useless, but if you can make a case for why it's important to start to understand this, well, that's great, because some endocrinologist at the VA is looking under rocks trying to find a solution for like their sick veterans, and they found it in this other area. And so this like cross-pollination thing that happens in the United States is just, it's what just propels innovation. And it's really, really a special thing.
Yeah. No, and I wonder, to circle back to the SciComm thing, I always wonder, because I know there's probably a few SciComm people listening, that like, I almost wish that, you have this cool TikTok about bugs, but like, you can tie anything into the important issues of the day. And you almost wish that like, because I think you've spoken a lot about how, it's good to be aware, but we need to be propelled into action.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I think about this as a ladder of engagement, right? So maybe the first bit of action that a person takes is just to Google or to learn, a TikTok or a reel on Instagram causes them to be like, is this true? and go to Google and start like asking some questions. And maybe the next action is that they follow some accounts that, like Stand Up for Science. Follow us on all your social medias if you don't. That they follow these places that may be kind of feeding some more information that they feel like they can trust. Maybe the next step is, oh, this place that I trust is saying that that there's this problem and they want us to sign this petition. Cool. I could sign a petition. That's for free. Maybe the next thing is calling your Congress member, your House representative to say, hey, I don't know a whole lot about this, but this seems like a bad thing and you represent me in the government. And so can you please not let this thing happen? Thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye. Or maybe it's something like emailing your representative, but just like some form of contact. And so then it builds up, right? And then it's like, ooh, there are the other like-minded people. Maybe I should get involved and do some volunteer work with Stand Up for Science or pick an organization. And then that turns into a protest where you meet lots of people who feel the same way that you do about whatever XYZ issue. And then all of a sudden you're a bona fide activist.
I love that. And that really, I feel like, ties into the latter half of our conversation because, on the Stand Up for Science website, you can go and there's like literally like a take action button and you have a bunch of beautiful, really easy to understand. And I wanted to go through all that stuff with you and just to give people a roadmap, to get involved again. It's only 8 years into 2026 or 8 days.
It is January 8th and we have been around for 8 years here in this year. Holy shit. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
So, the first thing you have is sign up to be a Stand for Science activist. What happens when they click that button?
Okay. So, I will tell you that we are a new organization. So, started this less than a year ago, actually 11 months today, which is like, well, anyway, so we have a base building team, a grassroots team. We're actively working to stand up. We call them locals, but they're like state and city local groups of either scientists, doctors, grad students, just pro science members of the public, people who, care about whatever, pick a science topic, who are coming together to say, okay, how can we reach our community with issues that really, really matter in our community? So like in Decatur, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia area, we're really dealing with these like data centers. Like it's a really big thing. Wow. I have personally seen my electric bill go up. It is a super salient topic right now. So like, how can Stand Up for Science, like the Stand Up for Science crew, go out and like meet people where they are about data centers, like talk about the environmental impact? That's totally a science thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's salient to my community. And so the idea is to get plugged in with people who are, like-minded, that want to do something a little bit more than just signing a few petitions. And also to take action together because, these times they feel isolating, but actually we're in the majority. And so it's good to be reminded of that. So that's the first thing. Go sign up to be an activist. You'll fill out a little form. You'll get a link to be led into our Discord. And then also we've got some Signal chats that we're starting to open up. And then our team will we sort of do a light screen, make sure, you didn't kill anybody, things like that.
It's fair.
Yeah, and then let you into, we sort of have this process of letting people in now to just make sure that we're not letting people in that are unsafe to our community, frankly.
Yeah. Obviously, impeach the quack,
Yes.
I sent a couple of ducks.
Good. Thank you.
But obviously, for that, that seems also probably the biggest thing also for you guys. And right now it says, co-sponsorship from other Democratic reps. So that would involve us getting involved with our Democratic reps, I'm assuming.
Yes. And so there's a few things here. So first and foremost, please sign to endorse the articles of impeachment. We do ask for your address when we do that. And the reason why is because our government team, and I will actually be at member meetings next week on the Hill, we're going to take these numbers and we're going to say there are 10,000 people your constituents. We have the list of them right here. You know, we're not sharing them, but just to say, like, we have 10,000 constituents who have signed this petition that want to see you co-sponsor these articles of impeachment, right? So being able to come to these member meetings to say, like, we have representation from your district is very, very powerful. And so it seems stupid. You know, I know that there are so many places that are like, sign our petition. We use our signatures for activism. Always. We are not data harvesting. We do not share your data. I am insane about our data sharing policy. We've actually never shared our data with anybody ever. And to be clear, I could sell all this data to fund the organization, and I don't do that. Can't say that for other places. Anyway, I digress. But all of that to say, that is one thing that's really important. It seems small. It is an easy step that people can take. And it's something that we use when we talk to these members of Congress. So like, we're going to bat for you, and you can help us do that by signing on. The next thing is to contact your member of Congress. So we have a click to call. Sorry, a click to call system where you can put your number in, you put in your address, and then our system will call your phone. It gives you a script, and it goes through an auto dialer to call your House representative. And I think we also have senators on there right now too. We change it sometimes we change it just to, like, if there's a focus or if we feel like there's been a shift in the air, you know, who needs to get this the most. I'll have to check to see what it is today, but you'll just go through the script. We tell you exactly what to say. You can read it. You will either connect with a voicemail box, or you'll connect with an intern whose job it is to answer the phone of the angry constituents. You will never, ever, ever be actually talking to, you know, your member of Congress. So it's sort of a low stakes thing. Like, you're literally going to be talking to like a 22-year-old or like, you know, like a 20-year-old intern who's like doing this for their resume. So just know that, like, that's
what I wanted to ask, because it feels like we were joking a little bit before, but just like this idea of like, why did we become so millennials specifically become so terrified of talking on the phone? And it's like, I, especially just with, you know, dealing with my back surgery and all this stuff, have spent a lot of time calling offices, like in the last 6 months, medication, you know, whatever, this or that.
Doctors,
it's like, I've spent a lot of time casually talking to random people. It's not scary. You can just be like, hey, I'm calling about, I need a refill of my medication, or hey, I need this thing sent over.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, that is something like I can right now call and be like, hey, I care about XYZ. And that messaging is just changing depending on whether it's RFK or just things like that.
Yeah. And whenever we do a click to call campaign, like, we'll give you a script. Like, we'll tell you what the, you know, high points are. And also, like, you can go off script if you feel confident, like, please, by all means, but like, we'll give you a script too, to make it a little bit easier. We know that it's like a weird thing, and a lot of people, especially scientists, are not used to this sort of civic engagement. And to be clear, like, this is civic engagement. This person is being paid by your tax dollars to represent you and your interests in Congress. And so, like, it's not a nuisance. Well, it is a nuisance for you to call it for them, and it should be, but like, it is your responsibility. It's your right. Like, it's your way of getting your voice across. They have to log these calls. And so they basically make the log of these calls. They make the log of the voicemails. They make a log of the emails to track, like, what is important to our constituents right now. That is how the Epstein file, like, act got passed through, because so many people were like, you will not do this. Like, you will not hide this from us. And so all of that to say, like, pressure, even in Republican places, it totally works. Like, you just have to be, like, you being, you know, the constituent base has to be a more threatening. Don't kill anybody, please, dear God. I say threatening in a non-violent, threatening sort of way.
Make sure people do their job.
Yeah, like, you need to be like, if you don't do your job, you will not have a job. Like, that's what this is, right? Like, we will vote you out of office.
Yeah.
And so that is the punch that needs to be packed. And it has to be a louder voice than what they're hearing from, you know, the president or the party leadership.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you could send a quackogram, $3. We hand deliver in a quack suit, in a duck suit.
Yeah.
We call it the quack suit.
What was that day like? It was, I loved watching the footage.
Gosh, we've had several days, and we're going to have another day next week. So get your quackograms in. It was frankly hysterical. I don't know that I've had so much fun. And it was the first day we did it was the most fun day I've had like all year. People got so much joy out of it. Like people just laughed and laughed. We actually chose a day where there were a lot of like citizens in the buildings, the house buildings, because there were just a bunch of like lobby days. People across both aisles just thought it was hysterical. The staffers of the Republican offices that we visited were bewildered. Like they were like, what the fuck is going on? They have to they have to log every duck. So some intern, some staffer had to sit there and write down every duck constituent, impeach the quack, constituent, impeach the quack, like rubber duck, and that's why it matters. Like it broke through, when all of these people are calling and pestering with all of these issues, and then you get 150 ducks dumped into your office, like it makes a point.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we were saying at the beginning, it's like there needs to be a way to get it. It feels like, Stand Up for Science is attacking it on all fronts. And part of that is making a
mockery.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's to say like, you think that this is a joke, like, all right, deal. We'll make a joke out of it. And it's a little edgy too, right? Like, and it's supposed to be like pokey.
Well, but I also feel like you were totally, not justified, but the fact that his cell phone is a duck quacking.
Oh my God. Okay. This is my first time getting to like publicly react to this. I was on campus. I'm still finishing my PhD. Okay. So like I have a day of the week where I'm supposed to be in the hole on campus, and my assistant calls me, and she's like the person who could get through, and was like, so there was a presser at the White House, and RFK Jr.'s phone went off, and it was a duck. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me right now. And it was just as funny as I mean, I don't know if it was like one specific person or if like that's his shit all the time, but like incredible. We're breaking through. We have to keep going. Yes. I want everybody to see a duck and think of RFK Jr. That is my goal. I want every person in the United States and worldwide to see ducks and be like, haha, Bobby. Like that's the goal. Okay. Cause he's a quack. Yeah. That's the goal. Yeah. So anyway.
No, I was couldn't believe it. It was just like, I mean, if that's a sign that you're doing things right.
Yes. Like we're doing it. We're getting through. So yeah.
Micro flyers.
Yes, I love microflyers. So this is something we got a lot of feedback that there were people who are like, I'm in a vulnerable position, there's something about their identity or their immigration status or whatever makes them very uncomfortable doing things like overtly, like signing a petition could be a bad thing or attending a protest in person. And so we set up microflyers because we wanted ways for people to be able to engage that were like easy, nameless, faceless, but could reach a lot of people. So you can go on. We have fact checked and done important things on this, on these microflyers. We actually are about to load up a whole bunch more. Cool. But yeah. And they've got QR codes on them, but the idea is to just plant like seeds of doubt, right? Like we're poking holes in some of these narratives. And so it's not going like one person probably isn't going to see one of these microflyers and like change who they vote for. That's not the intention. The intention is to get people to say, I wonder if that's true, and then go look it up. So yeah, we've got tons of microflyers. We're loading up more. We've got more that, we'll continue loading them up, but we try to make them so they cover lots of different topics. So you could be like, ooh, I love NASA. Well, great. We've got NASA ones for you.
Cool. And then obviously donating is a big part.
Please donate.
And that just goes donate. To, I mean, us. You have a team, you guys are on the ground every day, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And that costs money.
It does. It costs money. We have 18 staff. We have 2 offices, one in DC and then headquarters in Atlanta. And the thing that I don't think that the left generally really understands is that Maha particularly, they have tens of millions of dollars in a war chest that they are actively using and will continue to use through the midterms to drive communications in this, in these ways that we were talking about earlier. That's what this funding is for. And we don't have anywhere near as much money as they have, right? And we're actively trying to get to the point where we can go toe to toe with them. And I will say that we've done what we've done on a fraction of the funding that we know they have in their war chest. And with more, we can do more. And, we're a C3, we're a C4, we're all above board. This isn't going to line somebody's pockets, believe you me. But you're not going to find a more dedicated team. My team is amazing. I will go to bat for my team any day of the week, any hour of the day. There is not a more dedicated group of people working towards saving science, saving lives than this team. And I want to keep us going. So yeah, every dollar counts.
Celebrities, if you're listening.
Oh, please, God, please, please help us. Please come do some social media with us. Please give us a little bit of your earnings. It's a tax write-off. It's a tax write-off.
Let this be your cause,
Yeah, let this be your cause. Pick a thing. Is Alzheimer's it? Is addiction it? Is cancer it? Pick a cause. Is it climate change? Is it that you don't want pesticides in our foods? Cool. We're doing all of that work. Help us help you.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things I think a lot about because it's just, if you have any kind of platform, I just don't understand why you wouldn't, we can post on Instagram all day, but it's just why, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's my thing. Celebrities, give Stand Up for Science your money and, get involved.
Yeah, get involved.
Speaking of getting involved, you guys are a lot of fun. Speaking of get involved, you have protests and attending events. What? Because this is going to come out probably in a week from recording. So I feel like you guys have had workshops and things like that.
Yes. All right. Well, if this is going to come out in a week of recording, we are doing March 7th, round 2.
Okay. Getting my shoes ready.
Yes, get your shoes ready. We are going to be doing a large protest in Washington, D.C. on March 7th. So everybody that was pissed at us last year for doing this on a weekday, it's on a Saturday this year. And we're giving everybody a little bit more time so you can make your way to Washington. We're going to have some really fabulous speakers. And we just want to make the point that hey, we're not going quietly into the night on this. You don't get to tell us what we're going to study. You don't get to tell us what words we're going to use. You don't get to unilaterally change scientifically based policies that are going to kill people. And we're not just going to sit around while you destroy our ecosystem. And so that's what this is all about. It's round 2. And we're going to keep yelling. Until it's fixed. And then we're going to hold people's feet to the fire until it continues to be fixed.
Yes.
So yeah. So March 7th.
Okay. I'm marking my calendar.
Do it.
Well, Colette, thank you so much. This has been so wonderful.
You, it's a joy.
Yeah. Literally, people are listening to this podcast. Again, they're going to, you know what? Well, they could watch this episode too, but, yes. Again, you turn this off. What's the first thing they should do the moment they stop listening? Or they could have been doing it while they were listening. What's the first thing they could have done?
Sign the petition for RFK Jr.
Yeah.
Step 1, sign the petition for RFK Jr., call your member of Congress. And number 3, if you don't already follow, there's several things. If you don't already follow us on all the places, you should go follow us on all the places. But number 4, join Science Fight Club. We have a new Substack. We're writing. I'm doing some writing. My team's doing some writing. We're going to have some new podcasts up. So if you like to listen to me yap and other people yap and Steven yap too, maybe, you should come. Join Science Fight Club. It's $5 a month. It just, helps us get the word out. We are actively trying to get as many people, as many eyes, as many ears as we can on all of these issues. And that requires us to flood the zone, just like how MAGA and MAHA are flooding the zone.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Colette. And
thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Just, you got your marching orders. Let's do it. So
yeah, let's do it.
Hold on to your butts until next time. See you later. I'll see you soon. See you soon.
Soon. Yeah, that's good.